society has decided to participate in this process to bring about active and what we call organic change in our system. And another person who also is part of this civil society movement is Sarah Edward Lee, and I'll just before I pass it to him, let me speak a few words in Mandarin. 这些是全部在非政府团体迈向来塑造和培养一个公民社会。所以，在一个公民社会的基本的条件，就是要有一个能够有操作、能够有效的一个民主制度和环境。所以在这方面，他们一向来在这个非政府团体的应中获业，而且这一次认为说，必须要积极参与整个政治过程，才能够带来积极的改变。正面的改变，所以我们相当高兴，相当骄傲了。他们选出行动党，因为认为行动党是最恰当的机构，最恰当的一个选择，来完成我们国家这个使命，来完成这个公民社会这个鸿雁而使命。
Mainstream politics actually does not come by accident. We have been, as a residents' association and the association of residents' association in Petaling, Jaya, have been very, very vocal and have been fighting citizens' issues with the local government for many years. We feel that we have come to a stage whereby the people must be given additional voice. We have, in the past, confronted the local government, but they have actually been receptive to our appeals, but they still take matters into their own hands when it comes to decision which affects all of us. So it is about time that citizens' rights be strengthened, and in fact, with the participation in mainstream politics, I believe people can be heard, people's voice will be heard clearer. In fact, just recently, when I was in MPPJ, I had discussions with some of the directors of MPPJ, and they questioned me. They say, "Hey, Edward, it is now election time. Are you going to go into politics?" I said, "Well, I'm not too sure, because we have always been apolitical." But they said, but you actually have been focusing a lot on issues affecting governance, and you seem to be a proponent of these issues. Why don't you go into politics? I said to them, it's easy for me to go into politics, but the choice of the party is most important. And the choice is actually quite clear to me if I were to go into politics. And the choice is a heavy burden because the party that I have in mind has been fighting an uphill battle, sadly lacking in a lot of support and resources. But having said all that, I thought that it was incumbent upon myself to lend my weight to correct this position. Therefore, together with Charles and other NGOs, we thought that we would have to pitch our support behind the opposition party. And in my case, I believe in DAP and what it stands for, and I've been following the party for many years, and I know that the leadership is very sound in whatever they do, and therefore, I have got no qualms in joining DAP and fighting the cause. Now, coming back to the director of the company, I said to her, I think my choice, what my choice would be, because I have to join a party that is truthful, honest, and people-oriented. And that is why today I sit before you and I declare my support for DAP and lend myself to the party. that I believe. Thank you.
1,000 disconnections in Jaya, Kuala Lumpur and Selangor, and out of that 270,000 are households. Now, just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, both Edward and I, we visited an old squatter home in Old Craig Road, and this squatter home has no water for the last 2 weeks though. And if you include this week, it's third week. Now, when you disconnect water, to reconnect the water, it is 50 ringgit. Now you take 376,000 and multiply by 50 ringgit, it adds up to something like 21 million. So what has happened is, when you privatize services, the private sector makes tons and tons of money. And in this case, it is 21 million just from disconnection alone. Just from disconnection alone. And then from a 15% increase in the tariff prices from last year, they'll make a pre-tax profit of 100 million. And on top of that, because the government delayed the announcement to Shabas, they have to pay a penalty. The government of Malaysia has to pay a penalty of 125 million to Shabas. So what we did was, the Coalition Against Water Privatization, we have actually filed for a judicial review of the decision of the minister to actually increase the tariffs and ask for the documents that says why the tariffs were given. Now, the government actually wrote back to us and said, this is sulit and rahsia. So therefore, the case is now already 1 year old, and both Edward and myself are part of the court case. Now, more importantly now, you would have seen a statement from the Malaysian State government, especially from LUAS, L-U-A-S, LUAS. They are going to charge for rainwater for factories and for golf courses. I mean, can you imagine? We have come to the point now, we are going to charge for rainwater. I mean, look at the level of democracy and the control of resources that we have in this country, whereby now they are going to charge for factories. Can you imagine? Rainwater is going to be somebody, they're going to charge for that. I'm not sure how they're going to meter this thing, but the point is, the thought is they can make money out of water. And I think DAP also believes the same way, that water should not be privatized. It should be run by the state. It's a state business though. It should be publicly managed and not be turned into a profit commodity. And I think this is our move into DAP is part of that strategic support for that idea. I think that's the point I want to make. So therefore, there are lots of people who get their water disconnected. And this is one number that we have. What about the numbers that we don't have? So this is published in Parliament itself.